Welcome to our Finsiders game preview. Barry Butel alongside Jesse Agler. Preseason game number 2 up at Everbank Field, Everbank Stadium. They got some new naming rights up there.
It is not the Gator Bowl. It is not Alltel Stadium. It is not Jacksonville Municipal Stadium. So Everbank Stadium it is.
Nice to see them getting some naming rights, some additional revenue. A franchise that is always talked about perhaps heading to L.A.
Yeah, they are. And it's funny, we had on Pete Prisco on the radio show from CBSSports.com, and he's a Jacksonville guy, does a radio show up there. And he said actually the Jaguars are ahead of the Buccaneers in ticket sales this year. Tampa's actually going to have more trouble with blackouts than Jacksonville will this season, which is surprising because, like you said, we always hear about the Jaguars and the blackouts and the threat of moving to Los Angeles, but they seem to be doing a little bit better than one of the other teams in this state. So they hope they can get some stability. Obviously, there was a lot of offseason excitement there, thinking maybe Tim Tebow would be a guy to come in and be drafted, but the naming rights deal is a big thing for them. Get some money into that organization.
Jack Del Rio, longtime head coach there. He's had Byron Leftwich at quarterback. That didn't work. Now David Garrard, who was a backup, steps in, but he's getting a battle of his own there.
Yeah, Luke McCown, of all people, is apparently pushing Garrard in camp right there, and that's what'll be fun about this game, because obviously we'll see a ton of both of those guys on Saturday night. So looking forward to see the quarterbacks for ourselves. And Garrard, I mean, was kind of handed the keys. A lot of people weren't necessarily sure why he was, but now McCown is making everybody take a close look this offseason.
And without Fred Taylor, the longtime veteran there for many years, Maurice Jones-Drew is stepping into his shoes.
Well, he's the bright spot. I mean, he is a really, really good running back, and all our fantasy players out there know how valuable he is in that game, but he's a very good real player also, and it's nice because he does take some pressure off the quarterback. He's a guy, you know, he's low to the ground. He's like a little bowling ball. He can get through the hole. He can run outside. I know he's a big part of their special teams also. So Maurice Jones-Drew, very valuable to that Jaguar team and a big part of the reason to watch them.
Jimmy Smith was the guy at wide receiver. Now it's Mike Sims-Walker, but who's behind him? They just don't seem to have the depth at wide receiver.
No, they don't, and that's the bad news on offense. I mean, when you have quarterbacks like Garrard and McCown, okay, you got the nice running game, you got a decent number 1 receiver, but behind him, it's a big mess right now, and so you're not really scared if you're a secondary going in to play them. Of course, they're all about defense. They're not too worried about throwing the ball. Jack Del Rio is a defensive guy, and that's what they try and do.
Be nice to see Justin Smiley, the one-time Dolphin. I'm sure he'll be motivated to take on his former teammates.
Yeah, he'll be looking to bang into some guys on the offensive line, and yeah, he was let go early this offseason, or early this preseason, I guess. He found a home just, 6 hours up the road on I-95, so looking forward to seeing Justin Smiley in a new uniform.
It's Saturday night. It's at Everbank Field, Stadium, something like that.
Stadium.
Yeah, we'll go with that. That's your look at your game preview. It's the Dolphins and the Jags.